What up, my guys? I am back with a new video. So first off, my second last video ago, I did facts about South Africa. Now I decided let's go a bit bigger. Let's do facts that's all about the world. Things that we thought was real, but can be fake. I don't know which ones they are fake, but we're gonna find out together. So jump along. Let's have fun. And again, as always, please like and subscribe. Like I said, it's always free. You're not paying anything. What's wrong with you? So, without further ado, let's get down to it.
Most of the facts you learned in geography class, and might still believe, are just straight up wrong. For example, did you know that most penguins actually live in a desert, or that there's a mountain taller than Mount Everest? Here are 50 facts about geography that almost everyone gets wrong.
Just a quick thing. Penguins in desert, that's new. That's new. There's a mountain bigger, higher than Mount Everest. I would like to see what they say about this. So I'm interested.
Number 50, the highest mountain in the world. Since the 1950s, 4,000 people have successfully scaled Mount Everest, and at least 300 more have died trying. As the world's tallest mountain, the so-called Jewel of the Himalayas is considered the final boss for mountaineers all over the world. But what if we told you that Everest isn't actually the tallest mountain on Earth? That honor actually goes to Mauna Kea, a dormant volcano in the Hawaiian Islands. Mauna Kea's height from base to tip is 33,500 feet, or just over 10,200 meters tall, which is almost 4,500 feet or 1,400 meters taller than Everest. The only reason this fact isn't more commonly recognized is that most of Mauna Kea's height is underwater. It's probably a little harder to climb a mountain when you have to start at the bottom of the ocean. Number 49. Despite being the highest point above sea level, Everest isn't the closest point on the Earth to outer space either. That honor actually goes to Mount Chimborazo, a volcano located in Ecuador in the Andes mountain range. While Earth is spherical, it isn't a perfect sphere, and it's a little bit wider around the middle than it is at the top or bottom. So, since Mount Chimborazo is basically right on the equator, its peak sticks out further into space than either Everest or Mauna Kea, without actually being taller than either. Just goes to show that size is relative. Number 48. This one might seem a little obvious to some of you, but we might as well get it out of the way early. Africa is a continent, not a country. It's one of the most cultural...
Thank you. Whoever watched this, if you thought Africa was a country, I'm gonna slap you through the freaking video. That's stupid. People that think, you guys, it's like you guys didn't even go to school. What were you doing there? Having fun? Just doing stupid shit? Not listening? No. You guys are stupid if you thought Africa was a country. I will slap you silly. And now you're going to find out more facts about Africa that even I know about. Show you fans now, fam.
And geographically diverse continents on Earth. Africa is made up of 54 countries and is home to approximately 2,000 spoken languages. Number 47. What country's flag?
Okay, that was a flop. I actually thought they were going to give more facts about Africa there. Just so people don't know this, I feel like it's a fact that Africa is actually the biggest continent on Earth. People think it might be Asia or something or wherever. Africa, all continents on Earth can fit in Africa's continent if it was actually done properly, if they measure it properly. People be lying to you. Just so, by the way, that's how big Africa
is the Union Jack. Did you say Great Britain? Most people do, but most people would be wrong. The Union Jack is the flag of the United Kingdom. Although plenty of people outside the UK use the words Great Britain and United Kingdom interchangeably, only United Kingdom is the correct name. Great Britain is actually the name of the island that the countries of Scotland, England, and Wales are located on, which makes sense because it's the biggest island in the British Isles archipelago. Number 46. Africa is thought of as a continent located mostly in the southern hemisphere, but that isn't quite true. Almost 2/3 of Africa lies above the equator, placing the majority of the continent in the northern hemisphere. This means that countries like Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, and even parts of Nigeria and Kenya are all situated north of the equator. Number 45. Speaking of really big things, the Great Wall of China, it's pretty big. This ancient fortification used to mark the northern border of Imperial China, and at 4,500 miles or 7,200 kilometers long, it's the only man-made object that can be seen from the moon. Or is it? Turns out it isn't, at least not most of the time. It's only visible from low orbit, in very specific lighting and weather conditions, since from space, the materials the wall was constructed from are hard to differentiate from the surrounding forests. This myth dates back to before people had even been to the moon. The claim was first made in a Ripley's Believe It or Not cartoon, all the way back in 1932. Number 44. The Statue of Liberty might be the most famous icon of New York City, but it's not actually located in New York at all. It's actually located on the New Jersey side of the Hudson River. Despite this, in 1987, the Supreme Court ruled to make the statue officially part of New York City. Number 43. Staying in America, you might think that Kansas City is in Kansas, right? Well, not exactly. Kansas City is located right on the border between the states of Kansas and Missouri, and is technically split into two cities, Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. Number 42. What country do Dutch people come from?
Wow. Wow. America, wow. Kansas City, Missouri. Just because it sits by the border. It didn't say it sits in between the border, or unless I just heard wrong, I'm not sure. If it's part of Kansas City side of the border, then it's Kansas City. It's Kansas. Not Missouri is part of Missouri. You guys just don't want to give up anything, you guys. You give me headaches. That's what you do. You guys give me headaches.
If you said the Netherlands, you're correct. If you said Holland, you're also correct, but not for the reason you might think. Holland isn't a country. It's actually a province within the country of the Netherlands, which is home to the country's biggest city, Amsterdam, and its seat of government, The Hague. Most Dutch people don't care when people mistakenly call the whole country Holland, but some, particularly from the west of the Netherlands, find it really annoying. So make sure you get it right next time you meet a Dutch person. Number 41. If you look at a map of the United States, you might think that Maine, located in the Northeast, is the easternmost state in the country. But that technically isn't true. Due to the fact that the Earth is round, the honor actually goes to Amatignac Island, located in the Aleutian Islands of Alaska. Amatignac Island is located in the Bering Sea, between the US and Russia. It falls over the 180th meridian, which is the line that divides the eastern and western hemispheres. This means the island is so far west, it's looped back around to being east again.
That just proves it right there. Guys, the Earth is round, or oval if you want to be specific. It's not flat. But the stupidity that I don't get, when you charter a plane to go from, let's say, from America to Asia, like parts of Russia, they make you fly from east right around the freaking planet just to go there, and it takes like a few days sometimes of flight, switching flights and stuff just to get there. Why not just turn around, go west, and then just poof, few hours, boom, klaar, overnight, you are there. Why do they do that? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, that, if that is a conspiracy on its own, I don't know, but I would like to know. So if you know something, comment.
40. It's pretty well known by now that Iceland is green and Greenland is covered in ice. It's often been repeated that the Vikings named the islands that way to keep other people from settling on the one that had the better soil for farming. Well, as a matter of fact, that's a myth. And the reason Iceland is named...
I didn't even know that fact. That myth, to be honest, I thought they just named it like that. I had no idea.
Named Iceland is because of its icy fjords. However, according to the Viking sagas, Greenland was actually named Greenland to make it sound more appealing to settlers after it was colonized by Eric the Red in the Middle Ages. Number 39. When you think about Australian cities, you probably picture Sydney's iconic Opera House and Harbour Bridge. Since it's such an iconic city, it'd be easy to make the assumption that it's the nation's capital, but you'd be mistaken. While Sydney is the most populous city in the country, the actual capital is Canberra, located a few hours south of Sydney in the Australian Capital Territory. The city was made the capital in 1913 after years of dispute over whether Australia's capital should be Sydney or Melbourne. Canberra was a compromise, as it's roughly halfway between the two larger cities.
Oh, but are you telling me that's how they decided on a capital? Because it was halfway between the two that they actually wanted. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I thought the US was bad. But Australia doing this, no wonder. Hey. What is that? That's how they made a decision? Guys, we can't come to a conclusion. Let's just go halfway. Let's just make it Canberra, one way or the other. Because for some reason, they couldn't make up their mind. So they decided to just go with it. Husa.
Number 38. Speaking of capitals, most people think that Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. This was true up until 1991, when the Nigerian government decided to move it to the smaller city of Abuja in the center of the country. Lagos is still the largest city in Nigeria, though, with an estimated population of over 21 million, as it's also the most populous city in Africa. This is probably why many people around the world still think of it as the nation's capital. Number 37. Toronto.
Are you telling me people actually think that Lagos is the national? People need to get educated fast because they don't even know their own freaking countries and continents, and they want to put labels on other countries. Hey, just stop.
Isn't the capital of Canada either. That would actually be Ottawa, another city in the province of Ontario. Ottawa is home to Canada's Parliament, its Supreme Court, and the home of the Prime Minister. It's also home to a large number of universities and has the highest proportion of university-educated residents of any Canadian city. Number 36. Many people think that Cape Town is the capital of South Africa, and that would be wrong. And it isn't Johannesburg either. South Africa actually has two capital cities, as a matter of fact. The administrative capital is located in Pretoria, while the judicial capital is in a city called Bloemfontein. Number 35. Still on the subject of capitals, Geneva isn't the capital of Switzerland, and neither is Zurich. The capital is actually Bern, which is only the country's 5th largest city. In all of these cases, it just goes to show you that the largest city in any given country isn't always its capital. In fact, it seems like in most cases, it usually isn't. Number 34. On Mercator projection maps, Greenland appears to be the same size as Africa. In reality, Africa is huge, covering over 11 million square miles of the Earth's surface. In contrast, Greenland is only about as big as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, covering around 830 square miles, or about 2.15 million square kilometers. Number 33. Madagascar and Great Britain appear to be the same size.
Told ya. Map ain't accurate. Africa is huge, my man. It's huge.
As well, but Madagascar is actually twice the size of Great Britain. Madagascar has a surface area of 228,000 square miles, or just shy of 600,000 square kilometers. Number 32. On maps, Alaska appears huge, about the same size as Brazil and Australia. In reality, Australia is 4 times the size of Alaska, and Brazil is nearly 5 times the size of Alaska. In general, the nature of this cylindrical projection distorts the size of countries as they get closer to the poles. This is why Greenland, Alaska, Europe, Canada, and Antarctica look huge, while Africa, Mexico, and Asia seem tiny. This has led to some criticism against the use of Mercator projections in educational atlases, as critics argue it subconsciously trains students in Western countries to think of America and Europe as more important than countries south of the equator. Number 31.
Fact right there. Whatever this guy is saying, I hope he didn't disappear, because this is real nonsense right here. This is news. This is real stuff. Real stuff. Because if you take actually Africa, you have to zoom that thing in times, like if you leave it as is on the map. You need to take Africa times the zoom by 4 or 5 even. It's huge. Africa is huge, guys. Like, you have no idea. And the way they make it seem like this, like Asia is bigger, this is big. Nah, fam. America, is tiny compared to Africa. Honestly, it's a pudni muni.
Russia and Turkey are two countries that exist on both Europe and Asia. But despite what you might have heard, they aren't the only countries to exist on two continents at once. There's also Egypt, which is mostly in Africa but partially in Asia, where it shares borders with Palestine and Israel. Many countries that share borders with Russia and Turkey also exist on both Asia and Europe, as many geologists agree that the Caucasus watershed is the border between Europe and Asia. That also means that Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan all cover both continents. Number 30. America's Mississippi River is often called the Mighty Mississippi and is the longest river in North America. However, judging the length of a river isn't always an exact science. So while the Mississippi River is the largest river in North America by volume, it isn't actually the longest. The longest river in North America is in fact the Missouri River, which is longer than the Mighty Mississippi by just a single mile. Number 29. When you picture a desert, you probably imagine sand, hot sun, and maybe some cactuses and a few camels walking around. But what about penguins? Antarctica is considered a desert. Turns out, the only qualifiers for what a desert is are a lack of plants and very...
That pissed me off. I actually thought from the beginning of this video that penguins actually stayed in the desert. Are you telling me a desert is just a barren land because there's nothing else growing there? Makes sense, but at the same time, you got my hopes up for nothing. Nothing. That was irritating. Freaking hell, then this is normal. This is no weird fact.
Low average rainfall. Antarctica has actually only seen 0.4 inches or about a centimeter of rain in the past 30 years. Not only is Antarctica a desert, it's also the world's largest desert, dwarfing the size of Africa's Sahara Desert at 5 million square miles, or about 14 million square kilometers. Number 28. Did you know that the Sahara Desert isn't even the second largest desert on Earth? It actually only ranks number 1 for size if you only count hot deserts. The second largest desert is the Arctic Desert, which covers the island groups of Svalbard, Franz Josef Island, Severnaya Island, and Severnaya Zemlya in the Arctic Ocean. Collectively, it covers an area of 62,300 square miles, or about 161,400 square kilometers. Even though these islands are surrounded by water, they still count as a desert, because like Antarctica, they see very little rainfall and are home to very few plants. Number 27. When you were a kid playing in the backyard, did you ever imagine you were digging a tunnel to China? It's a common fantasy among bored kids with
I'm sorry, but which guy did not think that when he was a child? I'm gonna dig China. This new generation don't know that, but I'm telling you, our generations and older, hey, we all had the same freaking thought. If we kept digging, we're gonna meet a Chinaman. We'd be like, hey, like dig, hey, Jackie Chan. No, it's just, that's what we thought, you know, like.
troubles, especially in America, which is China's antipode, a fancy geographical term that refers to 2 points that would be exactly opposite each other on a globe. Well, even if your dad's gardening shovel was strong enough to dig through the Earth's core, you wouldn't find China on the other side. Looking at the latitude and longitude of a few major cities in each country, China's actual opposite is South America, while America's is the Indian Ocean. Number 26. It's a common belief that water always drains counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere, a supposed telltale sign you've crossed the equator. This myth is often tied to the Coriolis force, which describes how Earth's rotation affects the path of moving objects. It's the same principle that helps shape weather patterns like cyclones. Because Earth is tilted and rotating, the Coriolis force does vary between the hemispheres, but its effects are only noticeable on a large scale, like in ocean currents or atmospheric systems. But in small amounts, like toilets or sinks, it's practically impossible to notice. So
it is doo-doo, it is false, it is a whole lot of caca. I'm saying that if you ever go to like parts of Africa where that guy does it on the equator, he's talking nonsense. He is manipulating the flow of water. He is manipulating. It's a lie. Like you said, only on big scales you might notice something.
Short, no, the toilets in Australia don't flush the opposite direction.
No, they do not.
Number 25. Antarctica is the least populated continent on Earth, so a lot of people believe it has no time zones. After all, who would be using them? The penguins? Nah. But actually, technically speaking, Antarctica sits across every single time zone, which does make sense considering the fact that it's a very big continent. While some Antarctic research bases choose to set things to the time zone of their supply country, there are 9 officially recognized time zones on the frozen continent. Number 24. One of the most famous roads in the United States is Route 66, which was established in 1926 and runs from Chicago, Illinois, all the way to Los Angeles, California. It was a vital route for people looking to move west in the Great Depression, and it's been immortalized in movies, TV shows, and pop music for almost as long as it's been around. Most people think of it as the longest highway in America, but its length actually pales in comparison to the I-90, which was built in 1956 and runs from Boston, Massachusetts to Seattle, Washington. We can only guess that more people don't know this fact because, well, Get Your Kicks on I-90 doesn't quite sound as catchy. Number 23. Christopher Columbus is a pretty controversial figure for a lot of reasons. While some Americans today see him as a heroic explorer, in his own time, he was known for abusing his crew members and even beheading his slaves if they disobeyed him. But regardless of what you think the truth about him is, there's one thing we should all be able to agree on. He didn't discover that the Earth was round. While people in Columbus's time still believed the Earth was the center of the solar system, most people understood that the Earth was round. This was common knowledge even as far back as ancient Greece. The idea that people in the Middle Ages thought the world was flat is a misconception.
Thank you so much. The people, as far back as when not even technology even existed, knew the earth was round. But today, you get more and more and more idiots that be like, oh no, it's flat. Dude, no. What poppy nonsense are you looking at? Oh no, it's a dome, it's flat. Stop talking crap and live life normally, please. I don't know who you're trying to get involved, but it's nothing. The earth is round, always will be round, will never be what you think it is. Alright? Peace. I know there is some nonsense about certain theories and stuff, which I can understand, but the earth being flat, never. Never, ever, ever. I don't believe. I do not believe, and I don't think anyone should. It's nonsense.
That started sometime in the 1800s. Number 22. Australia is a dream vacation for a lot of people, especially for those who love extreme sports. The island nation boasts great beaches for surfing and rocky wilderness perfect for dirt biking and rock climbing. But we bet you didn't know that it's also a great place for skiing. Despite having the nickname of the sunburnt country, it does actually snow in some parts of Australia. It's almost unheard of at sea level, but at higher elevations in places like Tasmania and in the mountains along the country's east coast, snow falls regularly in the winter, which for the southern hemisphere is between June and August. Some years have seen a collective 118 inches 300 centimeters of snowfall. Due to this, skiing is actually a surprisingly popular sport in Australia, and the country has even produced a few Olympic gold medalists in the sport. Number 21. If someone told you that Florida has the longest coastline of any US state, you'd probably believe it, right? After all, almost the whole state is surrounded by water. But you'd be wrong, and you'd be making the same mistake as a lot of people, forgetting about Alaska. Alaska is also surrounded by a whole lot of ocean, and its area is significantly larger than Florida. Florida's coastline is about 1,350 miles, or about 2,200 kilometers long, which is pretty impressive until you hear that Alaska has a coastline that measures over twice that length, at 6,640 miles, or 10,000...
Did he say almost twice? My man, your math ain't mathing. That is 1,350 million miles, or miles, I don't know how he's calculating this. The other one's 6,640, bro. That's like times 3, maybe even 4. I'm not 100% doing my math, but it's definitely more than double the size. Just so by the way.
680 kilometers. Number 20. Speaking of Florida, it's not the USA's southernmost state either. Well, technically, it was until the United States took over and annexed Hawaii in the 1950s. Key West, Florida might be the southernmost point in the continental US, but Hawaii reaches the 21st latitude. At only 1,460 miles or 2,300 kilometers north of the equator, it's the closest any US territory gets to being in the southern hemisphere. Number 19. Staying within the US, it used to be true that Alaska had the lowest population of any US state, which makes sense given how so much of it is frozen for part of the year and can only be accessed by seaplane. But as recently as 2016, this had changed. It turns out there are 2 places that people want to live in less than Alaska. Wyoming has the lowest population of any US state, with around 587,000 residents, and Vermont is the second lowest, with a population of 648,000. Alaska, in contrast, has a population of 740,000. Number 18. If you ask most people in the West what country Kashmir is in, they'd probably guess India. The real answer is a little more complicated than that. So complicated, in fact, that there have been wars started over it. Prior to 1820, the region was under Shi rule, but after the First Anglo-Shi War, Kashmir was surrendered to the British, who controlled the area until the partition of India in 1947. Since then, it's been a disputed territory, with China, India, and Pakistan all holding claims to the region. India controls about half of Kashmir, which comprises the provinces of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. These states were formerly one state until they were split in August of 2019. The remaining third of the Kashmir region is controlled by Pakistan, and their section is divided into the provinces of Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Number 17.
Okay. Give me a sec, yeah? Dude. Just so by the way, we're ending this video right now because I must say I'm enjoying it, but it's long. If you guys want to see more, just let me know. We can continue it. I mean, it's basically almost done, but we can make a short video, added something extra to it one day, who knows. But the question is, I feel sorry for Kashmir. Look at that small ass country. It's surrounded by India, Pakistan, and what was the other one? Turkey. I can't remember what the last one was. It was something. I can't remember. Let me quickly go back. It was... Hey, my man, don't play with me. Look at that small ass country. It's surrounded by India, Pakistan, and what was the other one? Turkey. I can't remember what the last one was. It was something. I can't remember. Let me quickly go back. It was... Hey, my man, don't play with me. Kashmir. Come on. China. Not Turkey, China. It was China. So, that small town has the weirdest population if you think about it. Pakistanis and Indians, you know how they look. Close to this. I'm not full Indian, so close enough, right? I'm a light skin, so I'm not so dark. Then you get the Chinese people, which I'm not being racist, but you all know, right? I'm pretty sure in Kashmir, there's the mix. There's a mix, full on. There's some Indian Chinese vibes going on there, which I would actually like to see, because that sounds interesting as hell, come to think of it. Because I don't even know what kind of food you'll be cooking up in there. You're cooking a dog in a curry, bruh. Oh, that was bad. But all good. Guys, thanks for watching. Always a pleasure, and always again, please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Like I said, it's free. And share it. Let's get it out there. Let's have some fun, guys. One day soon, eventually, I'm going to move from reacts to actually maybe even visit these countries with your guys' support or anything like that. You never know. I could move on to normal videos. I can do a lot of different things. But I'm starting with reacts just to get my loyal subscribers. And if I get enough, you guys will notice the difference, and it's going to be fun as all. I think so. I hope you guys join, and I hope you guys will enjoy. Right, peace, salutations. I'm out of here.